just had no fears as a kid. Like,
No.
I wasn't worried about, like, insects or anything. I just lay right down under a bush.
Yeah. 100%.
As an adult, not a chance. I'm getting scratched up. Things are biting me. Get out of here.
I'm not doing that today, no.
No, but as a kid, oh, what a time. Alrighty, well, thanks for tuning in to episode 10 of the No Fire podcast. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about some crystals. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So if you're out there searching for love and you're wanting to find your soulmate, what kind of crystal should you wear?
Rose quartz.
Why is that?
Rose quartz is good for like opening up your heart. And I feel like obviously if you're trying to find love, that'd be good for that. But rose quartz is also good for like self-love. It's like the stone of love.
I could use some of that right now.
Carnelian would be a good stone too.
Carnelian?
Carnelian. It's like a reddish. It's like an orangey color.
What does that do? Same type of thing?
Yeah, and it's like known to like give you more confidence too.
Okay. Interesting.
Honey, I will make you a crystal, whatever you want. You just got to give me the guidelines.
Yeah, if you guys want wrapped crystals, head on over to
charismaticcrescent.com.
There you go.
You got another crystal question, or is that the only one?
No, that was the only one, but please enthrall me with crystal knowledge. Tell me some things.
Well, we need to get you a crystal. Maybe some labradorite would be good for you. It's a color that you would like. It's got like a blue tint to it, but it's also good for like repelling negative energy. I find that it's like a really good stone to help me like ground myself. And I mean, I think everybody uses crystals in a different way, but I'm like anxious, and I know you're anxious too. And I like find myself like rubbing my crystal, which is why I've been so particular about the crystals that I get, because I want them to have like a certain look and feel. Because if other people are like me and they want to like, you know, I feel like it's like my crystal ball hanging on my neck, and I'm just like,
yeah,
bring me peace, bring me the, you know, motivation I need to get through whatever. It's usually when I'm at work that I'm doing that, rubbing the crystals. She loves labradorite too.
Yeah, does she try and eat it?
Yeah, she does.
I used to have I think it was turquoise. Is that a thing? Yeah. Like a little like thumb rubbing crystal.
It's called a worry stone.
A worry stone, yeah. I had one
like
of those.
A divot in it. It could have been, turquoise. I guess aquamarine's not really like.
It was like blue and green.
Did it have like the cracked look to it?
No. It was more of like a polished kind of look, but it was not cracked. I don't know how to really describe it. So like the blue and the green were kind of like intertwined in it. I don't remember specifically what it was. I want to say I got it from my Chinese doctor.
Interesting.
The lady who used to do acupuncture on me.
I don't know. I can think of a couple of different crystals, but I would have to show you them for you to be able to like show me if it was like the right crystal color combo. I mean,
I might still have it.
Oh, you should look for it.
I could probably show it to you.
I wrapped Mindy a crystal because when she was in foster care, she said that she always kept a moonstone in her bra, and it just was like always like her comfort. And I like went and found a moonstone and wrapped it for her, and she loves it. But now that my crystal skills have come so far, I think I need to upgrade her moonstone for her.
That would be nice of you.
Yeah, she would like it.
Yeah. I was thinking about my Chinese doctor. I used to do elimination diets. They would put like this little capsule thing, and she would put it inside my sock, and I would sit there and I'd get my acupuncture done. I've had this little capsule inside of my sock, and she wouldn't tell me what it was until the very end. Like at the end, she'd be like, okay, this week you can't eat like eggs and poultry. Then the next week it would be something else. I remember doing that because I was having really frequent migraines, and they didn't know what the problem was. I had been to a neurologist. I had CAT scans and MRIs and all sorts of stuff done, and they couldn't figure out a cause for it. They were just assuming it was a pinched nerve, but they didn't know whether I had like a tumor or something. So that's why they're doing all the scans. And the neurologist gave me like this headache medicine. It was a nasal spray and it was really powerful, but it was terrible. I would puke every time I would take it. So I resorted to Chinese medicine and doing the acupuncture and stuff and doing those elimination diets. And I don't think I ever got any results specifically from the elimination diet. But I just remember her putting that little thing in my sock and listening to the Chinese music for like 45 minutes while I had these little needles in my face.
Ugh. I mean, it doesn't sound comfortable, but I know like acupuncture, the needles are like very fine, so you're not supposed to feel them.
You definitely feel them. Anybody who's gotten acupuncture definitely knows. It's like she would put it in and she'd flick it. I don't know if that's like to make sure it's in like the right like nerve or something. I would also do like this electro stim thing where I would hold like these electric rods and you could feel like the pulses going through my body. Definitely some interesting stuff. And then she would do like deep tissue massages and stuff. I tried all sorts of stuff because they just didn't know what was wrong with me. And
That's when you weren't getting migraines?
Yeah. Me being riddled with anxiety today is just pulling back all those repressed memories back up.
Yeah, sure.
I just feel like on my days off, I'm getting anxiety and it's making me frustrated, and then it's making me like have a physical reaction, and then I start getting a headache and it's even more frustrating. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just having an off day.
I feel you.
And I never feel like I'm productive enough. And that frustrates me. And I'm always thinking about the things that I need to do in a negative light, not in like a positive light. Like tonight, I get to hop on a phone call with my brother. It's his birthday tonight, and we get to talk and work on videos and stuff. And like, it's not that I'm not excited to do it, because I am. I always have a great time. We're on a call together. I'm laughing the entire time, and we're being productive, and we're getting work done. But in my head, like thinking throughout my day, like I had to go get my hair cut and it took so much longer than I wanted it to. And I worked out beforehand. So I woke up, I ate breakfast, I worked out, I went and got my hair cut, and then boom, we're here to 6 o'clock at night. And then we're going to finish up the podcast. I'm going to hop on the call, and then I'm cook dinner after that and go to sleep. And I'm like, there's so many other things that I wish I could get done throughout the day. And I know that I could be more productive, but sometimes I just want to relax for a second. Like this morning when we sat down and ate breakfast and watched TV for a little bit, I'm glad that we did that. But at the same time, I just wish that I was getting more things done, and reflecting on the beginning of the day, it just makes me frustrated.
I understand. I feel that way every single day. There's never enough hours in the day, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then I'm going to work a double tomorrow, and then the rest of the weekend pretty much flies by, and, we'll start on the next week, and hopefully we can take a positive step in that direction starting on Monday. Hopefully I can get a couple things knocked out that I've been working on. I got commissioned to do another video, so I need to get that done. So that will get me in gear a little bit to at least get that video done.
Yeah.
So I'll get that video done, and then hopefully that'll springboard me into some productive stuff, I'm hoping.
That usually does it for me.
And I feel good when I get things done. Like,
yeah.
I feel that sense of accomplishment. I just wish that it was easier for my brain to kind of relay that information. Like, hey, this is going to make you happy if you do it. So just start it. Get it done.
Yeah, that's a struggle I have every single day.
And then you'll feel good. But yeah, it is what it is.
All the anxiety. I know how you feel.
Yeah. So when I was sitting waiting to get my hair cut today, I was trying to think of things to talk about. And one of the things when I went to the doctor the other day that was like on the report sheet was my BMI. And my BMI is 0.1. Oh, like there's like a scale in it. Like if you're from 19 to 25, you're in like a healthy range. If you're at 25.1, you're obese. And then at 27 point something, you're severely obese, or whatever the scale is. I'm not specific about the numbers, but I am 0.1 away from being obese.
That's insane.
And I just think the BMI scale is so flawed because she took my weight. I had my shoes on, I had my keys, my wallet, and my phone. and like my watch and clothes and everything else. So like if I was stripped down without anything on, I would have been like almost 5 pounds lighter. I guarantee it.
I'm sure.
So when I weighed in, she's like, "What's your height?" And I was like, 5'10", 5'11". So she put 5'10" down. She weighed me, had everything on me. I was 174 pounds. Well, apparently that's 24.9 on the BMI scale. And then when the doctor asked me like, "Oh, how's your diet?" And when I said that I eat relatively healthy, I feel like she kind of questioned it because she was looking at that thing where it basically says I'm borderline obese.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at me. I'm not borderline obese. Like, you can tell that.
You are healthy.
Yeah. And then she asked me how often I exercise, and I told her 5 times a week, and she was like enamored that I exercised that much. And I was like, I also do at least 10,000 steps at work every time I work, which is 5 days a week. So and those other 2 days off, I probably get pretty close to 10,000 steps.
For real.
Yeah. So I think the BMI scale is flawed.
I agree with you.
Because if I would put 5'11", I'd be in a very healthy range for the weight. I could be like 10 pounds heavier and still not be obese with 1 inch.
Yeah.
And she didn't measure my height. And she would have measured me with my shoes on. I would have been like 6 foot.
True.
So I don't know. I just thought that was a little funny.
It's just weird how that scale works.
I know.
It's like outdated, or not even, it's obviously not accurate, but it's, I don't know. It's not.
The thing is, so they don't account for like how much of your body is like bone density, muscle mass, and fat. They just take a broad range of what a normal human is like. And I think that scale is based on people who do no weightlifting. And I'm not ripped or anything. I'm not jacked, but like I have muscle mass on me more than somebody my height and weight that doesn't work out would have. So the BMI scale looks worse for me than it would be for somebody else in my shoes who doesn't work out at all.
Honey, you are in very great shape, so you don't
well,
cut
the
yourself.
BMI scale told me I'm not.
Well, your girlfriend told you you are.
Well, I wish it worked like that.
Yeah. It should.
But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about all the different random things and how stupid that scale is.
Yeah.
It probably works for a lot of people, but specifically for people who exercise, like think about a bodybuilder. They're going to be like severely obese on the scale. Somebody who's 5'10", 210 pounds of pure muscle. It's not going to look good on the BMI scale, but
no.
Anyways, I was also thinking about sports that I played and that you played as a child. I know you did basketball when you were younger. Did you play any other sports?
Basketball didn't play for like school. We just did like summer camp because my Aunt Nita. I ran track for like a year. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. I played. Nah, I didn't really play flag football. No. Just went to
Did you want to play other sports when you were younger growing up, or not really? No, you had other things you were thinking about?
Don't know what, but yeah, sports weren't my thing. I liked going to the games and like rooting people on, but like I didn't want to be like on the field playing any of the games. Yeah,
I mean, that was like a cornerstone of my childhood. I started playing baseball when I was 8 or 9, maybe even 7. Maybe I think I was 9. And I would play both seasons, fall and spring ball. So it took up most of the year, and you would practice once or twice a week, and then you'd have at least one game a week. And I remember every year we would go and play these tournaments, and we were always so bad. We would lose in like the first couple rounds. It was like a round robin. It would be like one day and you'd play like 3 games or whatever, if you'd played more, if you were winning the games, but we never played anymore. I remember one season we did well. We won like the mid-season tournament or whatever, and I can still remember the moment, and I played a big part in our win. I pitched and I hit the winning RBI to win the game, so maybe that's why I remember it so much. But it's such a small moment in my childhood that I can visually go back to and remember a specific moment. And there's not a lot of other things that I can do that. But with sports, I feel like they were really stressful for me. But at the same time, I enjoyed them. So I remember a lot of those moments.
It's really sweet, sweetie.
I also remember we we were practicing, and I was the cutoff from outfield, and one of the coaches was hitting pop flies to the outfield, and they were like rotating in the back, and they were throwing it to me, and then I was throwing it home. And I don't know what the situation was. For whatever reason, I wasn't paying attention, and somebody threw the ball from the outfield, and I turned around, and you wear your glove on your non-dominant hand, and I turned around, and the ball hit my, I want to say like my index finger on, not my index finger, my ring finger on my right hand, and broke it. I remember breaking my thumb when I was catching as in baseball. Yeah, I remember specific moments.
Well, I'm glad that, I mean, most of it sounds like it was painful, but you do have a good, like, I don't know, relationship with it, I suppose. It does make you happy to talk about it.
Yeah, I had fun playing sports. Definitely had fun playing sports. And I was thinking about, like, I would want to play sports now, like as an adult, like play in like a softball league or something. I just don't have time. I don't have time to do that. But I think that would be so fun, especially if I had friends who were into that sort of thing. Like if I worked at like an office and like my office buddies, we all played on a softball league. I could see how that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would be fun.
But yeah,
honey,
don't have
you make time, you sign up, I will be your cheerleader.
Yeah, I don't have time.
I know.
I don't have time. There's so many other things that I'd be thinking about when I would be out there playing that I just couldn't do it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and hop into the relationship corner. I have a taboo kind of a topic to talk about.
Ooh.
Something that some people would say we shouldn't talk about.
Oh.
But I think we should. So here it is. Do you think it's important to have the same political and religious beliefs in a relationship?
I kind of feel like it depends on how important those things are to you. Like, I don't really have a strong, like, political belief system. I don't really follow politics. Like, I'm ignorant when it comes to all that stuff. I've always been that way. I don't know. I guess I'd rather not know. I know that sounds terrible, but
no, I totally understand that.
I don't know. But you know, if that were something that I were to be passionate about, I feel like, and we had different political views, I feel like that would definitely cause an issue. Religion, same thing. Like, you know, I don't push my spirituality on you, my beliefs on you. I let you do you, you know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't affect our relationship. But I think if I was like, you're going to sage this house and you're going to go do a tarot reading and, you know, whatever, I feel like it'd be different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for example, on my mother's side, a portion of the family are Mormons.
Yes.
And that's really important to them, is to either marry another Mormon or convert them to being Mormon, because their religion is such a big part of their life.
Yes.
And I think the same could be said for politics. If that is a really big portion of your life, then it could be important to you for your partner to maybe not agree on everything politically, but be on the same side. If you have someone who has completely opposing views, then they probably don't have the same values either.
Right.
Because we don't really talk about politics, but I bet if we did go over all the political stuff, I think we would end up really, really similarly aligned.
Yeah.
Because our values are very close and very similar. And I think we value the same things and think in the same way too.
Yeah, I agree.
We may not agree on everything, but I think on most things that we would agree. So I want to say no, because I want to be like, oh, it shouldn't matter what your political beliefs are, because I want everybody in America to get along. And I think there's this big view that everybody is kind of split 50-50. And I want to be like, oh, you should be able to get along with this person who doesn't agree with you. But in a relationship, when you're that close, spending that much time together and working towards a goal as a unit, it might be important for those things to be similar and align.
Yeah.
So
agree.
I think in some aspects, yes, it does matter, but not 100% of the time.
Yes, I can agree with you on that.
He is just snoring away over there.
Better than him tippy-tapping around the house.
100% agree.
It's just funny because he's snoring so loud, and I don't know if it's...
I don't doubt you can hear it. You might be able to. I don't know.
It's just funny.
It's better than the alternative.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, I was doing research to find a topic to talk about for the relationship corner, and one of the things that in the past relationship experts would say is that on the first date you shouldn't talk about money, politics, or religion. And they said that that's changed over the years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I get why that's changed, because like I said, I think that kind of reveals some values, and it doesn't necessarily it doesn't mean you can't be friends with somebody who has opposing political beliefs, because I think you can be friends with somebody like that, but you might not necessarily want to be in a relationship with them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's just politics are a lot.
They are a lot. Somebody was talking to me about politics.
Not I.
Yeah, I know it wasn't you. I don't know. The other day somebody was talking to me about politics, and like the things that they were saying, like I was mostly agreeing with, but I was like, I'm way out of my depth here. Like I don't do enough research to like give you the answer that you're looking for.
Right.
Like if somebody were to ask me who I was voting for, I'd be like, I'm not educated enough to
Make
do
that decision,
that.
yeah.
And that might make people angry. They're like, that's your right as a citizen. But that's not something that's very important to me.
Right.
Right now, as of this minute. Maybe in the future it will be. And maybe somebody could change my mind. Leave a comment. Yeah, I thought that was a interesting question to pose, because I couldn't specifically find that question anywhere as like a topic to talk about, but I kind of formulated it from some things that I was reading. So I was like, oh, that might be something that people would want to hear, or maybe they really don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I do kind of feel like it is important in this day and age to like talk about it early, and because it could be detrimental to the relationship, and at that point it's like, why waste my time?
Yeah, you never know.
I guess I'm just a why waste my time kind of person.
No, I 100% agree with that. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship that I don't see moving forward, and once you realize that the relationship isn't going in the direction that you want it to, it's time to end that relationship.
Agreed.
Personally, that's just what I think. Some people are out here just having fun, so
some people just like to have fun, honey.
do your thing.
Do your thing.
It ain't my life you're wasting, so.
Not here.
So the next thing I want to talk about was your favorite games as a kid. So our good friend Cameron started a company, MacMan Retro,
yes,
where they have acquired all this memorabilia, games, consoles, all this stuff, and they're selling it in a little shop that they have, which is super cool, really inspiring. I love to see it. And I would love to, whether it's a GameCube, a Wii, a Switch, anything where I can get Mario Party on, whether it's Mario Party 4 or 5, or maybe one of the newer ones that has all of the good stuff included in it. I think that would be fun for the two of us to play together.
I would love to play.
Because growing up as a kid, it was Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Party. Those were my two favorite things to play.
Yeah.
Along with Tekken. Tekken was up there, but it wasn't quite as high.
Tekken was up there for me. You know Tekken was up there for me. Crash Bandicoot. Obsessed.
Crash was a good one. I think the reason that I really liked Mario Party was so much is because you played with other people, like in person.
Yeah. I grew up with so many siblings that if there were games that I could play by myself, I wanted to play by myself, because I had two older brothers. Yeah. So like they always wanted to play Madden or whatever, you know, whatever year it was that Madden, you know, they did. I don't even know how many years of Madden they did for the PlayStation, but anyway, If
a
that's
lot.
they always wanted to go against each other, and then we'd fight each other in Tekken. But like I like needed Sapphire time, like by myself.
Yeah.
Defeating Crash Bandicoot and going to the different vortexes, and Crash is like A1 for me.
Yeah, that specific Crash game that you're talking about is the one that I also played, where you jump into the portal and then you'd either be on a tiger or you'd be on a motorcycle.
The little and the jet ski.
The jet ski, yeah. You're the one where you went underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun. I really liked that Crash Bandicoot. Nathan played Spyro.
I liked Spyro.
I think I was just too stupid to play it. I've never been good at video games.
Ooh, maybe Spyro would be my next tattoo. Charlie.
You were big on Spyro?
I was big on Spyro. I love Spyro. Me and Imani played it a lot. I played it on my Game Boy too. I was obsessed with that. Oh, there was another game I was just about to say that I played a lot of. Oh, the Namco, the like Pac-Man,
where it had multiple
Galaga,
games.
Dig Dug. That was like big in our house.
You had that on your Game Boy?
I had that
Game Boy.
I had it on both. I had it on the PlayStation 1 or 2. The gray one was 1.
The gray one was 1, yeah.
We had that, but then we did get the PlayStation 2, so I don't remember what game, like which one it was on. But I also had it on my Game Boy, and my mom was obsessed with it too. She loved the Galaga, like she loved the spaceships and the pew 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 pew. I love Dig Dug. Dig Dug is my favorite. I don't know. I
didn't have that one on my Game Boy. I had it on my Game Boy Advanced SP.
I had that one too. Is that the square one?
It's a square one that flipped open.
Yeah. I had that one. I had the clear, like I don't remember what it was called. Color. Was that the color one? The like rectangular.
That was the Game Boy Advanced.
Okay, I had that one too.
Oh, you had that one too?
The flippy one.
The flippy one was the Game Boy Advanced SP.
I had got that one because they came out with the sapphire color.
Oh, really?
And I wanted the sapphire, of course.
Nathan had a red one. I had a blue one.
We had an old school Game Boy Color. It was like the yellow, like traditional yellow.
Mine was green.
We had so many different. I was big into those games growing up.
And I remember getting a DS, a Nintendo DS.
Got one of those too.
A Nintendo DS Lite is what I got.
I don't know.
Because the DS, I don't know if like the times just didn't align and like Christmas wasn't up, but I remember getting that and that being like the coolest thing ever, because you had the Picto Chat where I could send messages to Nathan if he was like within like shouting distance of me.
That's funny.
So I remember that. I remember that being fun and playing all sorts of different games and playing Mario on that too. But when I was thinking about playing games as a kid, I was also thinking of, did you ever play like Manhunt as a kid?
Did.
Or like, do you ever play Kick the Can?
No, Manhunt was big in our neighborhood though.
Manhunt was so much fun.
Yeah, we had a creek behind our yard, and like we were always hiding in the creek.
Yeah,
was just hiding in the creek and neighbors' little tangerine trees. Like,
you just had no fears as a kid. Like, no. I wasn't worried about like insects or anything. I just lay right down under a bush.
Yeah. 100%.
As an adult, not a chance. I'm getting scratched up. Things are biting me. Get out of here.
I'm not doing that today, no.
No, but as a kid, oh, what a time.
I remember I had a red bike. Next was the brand, and we would go down to the canals. There, like all the canals, like connect, or the creeks connected to like a canal area. But the canal went into like the next neighborhood, so we'd like go back through the neighborhood and like we'd hang out down there because there was like this like cement like circular structure that like the water just passed through, but you can like sit on the sides of like under the ground, and we thought it was like the coolest thing. I just remember always like, you know, just being out doing shit all the time. I was never home as a kid. Yeah,
same. So my neighbor had a trampoline. Two separate neighbors had trampolines. So like, even if they weren't home, I'm going in their backyard and I'm jumping on their trampoline.
Yeah.
I could do front flips and back flips and all the cool stuff on trampolines. One thing that I was always jealous of is I had a friend who could do a wheelie on his bicycle like really well. Like around the neighborhood, just a wheelie. And I was like, just in awe as a child. I can't even do it as an adult. I would have to practice for months to get to the point that he was at when he was like 11.
We had brothers in our neighborhood that were like that could just pop their bikes up and ride all around the neighborhood like that.
He did like dirt bikes and four-wheelers and stuff like that too. So he was kind of like in that world.
Those brothers did, I don't know what it's called when they like race.
BMX?
With the parachute that comes out the back.
Wait.
They're like little race cars that they have to like, they're like narrow little things. Maybe they're not even like, they're a car, I think. But
wait,
not
they
really.
drive the car?
Yeah, they drive it and like this like parachute
like
comes out
drag
of the back.
racing?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
The parachute comes out to slow them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 brothers in our neighborhood that did that.
That sounds like an expensive hobby.
I think their dad did it for, I don't know, the whole family was into it.
Yeah. All those hobbies like dirt biking, four-wheeling, drag racing, those were just hobbies that were out of financial reach for my family. Like there was no way I was getting a dirt bike as a child. It was several $1,000s, and then a trailer and a vehicle to trailer it somewhere, and then the time to go out and do it, and the gear and everything that would be involved in something like that. It was just a no.
My stepdad's friends always like would bring things over,
and
that's how we'd like get to play with them. Like the neighbors bought the dirt, like all the neighbors were all friends, you know what I mean? So like one of them gets something new, then they're bringing it to our house, and then we're trying it too. So that's how we got to try a lot of the stuff.
I remember, have you ever ridden a dirt bike?
Yes.
I remember the first time I rode a dirt bike. I think I was 11 or 12. It was a little 60cc dirt bike.
Don't know what that means.
It's really small. A small dirt bike. Very small dirt bike. Probably the most fun thing ever when I was like a little kid, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't be riding this.
Yeah.
Like, this is too much for me. It probably did like 30 miles an hour.
I seared my leg on the something hot on the...
That'll happen.
Yeah. Inside of my calf.
And then I went over a jump that I probably shouldn't have, and I crashed. I don't remember if I don't think I ruined the dirt bike, but shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah,
Not very smart.
No.
Yeah. I just remember having so much fun as a kid, whether it was video games. And then, so when I was younger, it was Mario Party and Double Dash and all that. And then Tekken was a little bit after that, and playing outside and doing all that stuff. And then when I was like first becoming a teenager, the Xbox 360 had recently come out, and Call of Duty was like about to explode right when I got the Xbox. And I remember Xbox Live taking over my life, and just every day coming home from school, and that's all I wanted to do.
I'm sure.
YouTube was just becoming a thing, and people, like, we found out that you could make videos for your Call of Duty stuff and post it on YouTube, and that was just like mind blown for me.
Still pretty wild.
Well, that was like the inception of like my YouTube obsession. That's when I realized like content creation was a thing, because Nathan and I used to make videos, like home videos, and then just watch them on the TV.
You've showed me some.
And then we created a YouTube channel called Applesauce. And we made these little videos on a Logitech webcam, and they were just, oh my God, I wish I could go back and watch them. Nathan deleted the videos because he was afraid that somebody was going to find them and that he'd get made fun of.
He's so silly.
Which in today's world is like something that would happen to kids, but back then, like, nobody would have been able to find the channel.
Yeah.
Like, YouTube was not nearly as big as this is in like 2007, so YouTube was just a thing. And I remember
2007.
the quality of the videos were so bad because it was shot on a webcam. I bought the webcam and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. I was just obsessed with like video things.
Yeah, you like that.
I got this thing called a Flip Minnow. I filmed HD video, which was like groundbreaking, and it was the size of like smaller than an iPhone is now.
Interesting.
It had this button on the side. You click down on it and it shoot out a USB, and you could stick it right into the computer.
That's funny.
Download the videos. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think you could only keep like an hour's worth of footage on it.
That reminds me of, so like left field, but the oh my God,
A hit clip.
No.
I don't know why that, like.
I loved hit clips though. I had so many of them. The iPod Nano, is that what it was called? That like just had the buttons and no screen on it?
That was the Shuffle.
The Shuffle.
The iPod Shuffle.
That's what that just like correlated to in my brain, like that like little.
Yeah, that thing, because you didn't have a screen to select what song you wanted, so you had to make sure that when it was on the computer you had everything in order the way that you wanted it to.
It was such a like cool thing that came out for Apple.
You could have like 120 songs on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I thought that was pretty crazy when I was younger.
Back.
Yeah.
Oh.
All the technology changes in our lifetime have been pretty crazy, because I mean, you probably more so experienced it than I did, but I mean, even when I was growing up, like I remember getting my first cell phone. I didn't just get my first cell phone, I had to share it with my brother.
Yeah.
And it's like, me thinking of that now, I'm like, well, that wasn't very useful. We had to share a phone. Like, how'd you know where we were or what we were doing? But
I'm pretty
my
sure
parents
I
always
didn't
knew where we
get
were.
a cell phone until high school.
Yeah.
Or maybe like 8th grade. Like I know it was like either end of middle school or early high school. But yeah, I mean, watching like the whole transition of like not having mobile phones. And then I remember when my mom got her flip phone that had a camera on it, and it was like the like newest thing, because before that we had like the Nokia with the snake game on it. You know what I'm talking about?
We had an LG that had the snake game on it.
We had one of those. We had an LG.
Was it in color or was it
black and gray or whatever that is?
Ours was like black and green.
Yeah,
like the background was greenish color.
Yeah. That's the one. And I just remember how like crazy it was to like see a phone that had a camera in it, and my mom thought it was like the craziest thing ever. Like it was like just the beginning of all that. You know what I mean? Our computer in the house was like, you know, the big boxy tan manila colored computer. Like
my parents had that for way too long.
Connect to the internet, making all the crazy fucking noises. Like I remember all of that like so significant to my childhood, because like like I said, when we were younger, like all we wanted to do was be outside. So like I felt like I was a little ignorant to it, I guess. Like as like the world's like evolving around me, I'm like, I still want to go ride my bike down to the canals and see what the fuck's going on. So
yeah, well, everything was just going on in the background.
Yeah, it was just crazy it just all happened. It's happened so quickly.
Well, like I said, Xbox 360, like the live portion of it like took over my life, because I could play with a friend who I didn't have to be with at the time, and that was crazy to me.
You're like,
I could talk to them. I had like a little cheap headset.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
I never got into that.
Yeah. That was a big part of my life for a small portion of time. It didn't last that long, but as far as the cell phone thing goes, so my brother and I shared that LG flip phone, and then I got I want to say it was Samsung Hue, and it had these color changing faceplates that you could take off. Those plastic faceplates. I know
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I had red and blue. I never got any other colors, but I could change it from red to blue, and I'd have one piece of blue and one piece of red on there, and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. And on the front of it, it had this little like backlit screen, and it would like tell you the time on the front of it. And I was like, this thing is cool.
Coolest thing I own.
And then at that time when I had that phone, that's when like Blackberries were taking over, and I thought Blackberries were the coolest thing ever. And I remember getting my first touch phone, or a touchscreen phone, and it was one kind of shaped like an oval almost, and it had the slide up keyboard. I remember thinking that was like super cool, and I always wanted a Blackberry so bad. And they had come out with the Blackberry Storm, which was a touchscreen Blackberry. That was right before the iPhone came out. And then I remember a friend of mine getting an iPhone. I didn't get an iPhone until maybe senior year in high school. I think I got the iPhone 6.
I was like 22 when I got my first iPhone.
Yeah. Do you remember which one it was?
I have it still.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's in the spare room. It's like the square one with the button.
Maybe the iPhone 7? 5?
5 maybe.
5 maybe. Yeah. I got an iPhone, and then I never went back. I kept getting iPhones after that, I'm pretty sure.
Same.
I got the 6, and then the 8, and then the 10, and then what I have now, the 12, I think.
I was converted and never went back.
Yeah, now I have a bunch of Apple products, and they're frustrating me today, but usually they work very seamlessly together, and that's one of the reasons I like having Apple products.
I agree.
But, yeah, I don't know. Google's getting better with their stuff, too, and having sharing abilities between different platforms. So maybe in the future I could get something else, but as of right now, I'm still Team Apple. It's just easy for me. I can easily transfer my data when I get a new phone and stuff like that. So
yeah, it makes it way more simple.
that's just where I'm at. Yeah.
Oh, well, this is like to touch back on your games. I thought you were going to say board games.
Mm-hmm.
There was a board game that was like significant in my childhood, and I don't know why it was so significant, but I just remember playing it a lot, and it was one of my favorites. Which, thinking of all these things are making me want to get tattoos of all of these things.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess what game it was?
A board game. Is it something that's super common or no?
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Trouble.
That was a big one in our house too.
With
but
the little dice that you could pop in the center.
Oh God, I love that too. But no, it wasn't that. It was more like I feel like it's pre-Trouble. Like
Chutes and Ladders?
No.
It can't be Monopoly. Monopoly's too basic.
No. This is like more like probably didn't play it past the age of like 10.
Didn't play it past the age of 10. I have no idea.
Maybe it's like a popular girl game and that's why.
What is it?
Candyland.
Oh no, that's like a normal.
I loved Candyland.
Yeah, Candyland was pretty cool. We played Candyland. I had Candyland.
I loved. And there was a Pretty Princess game that I played too. I don't even really remember like what the game was, but I just remember really, really enjoying it. Meanie Monty really enjoying it. And it had something to do with like necklaces or something.
Uh-huh.
Now I feel like I need to look it up. But
I remember when you used to go to like McDonald's and Wendy's and you got a kid's meal, you'd get like really cool things in your kid's meal.
Yeah.
I remember one time at McDonald's, they were handing out X-Men computer games. And they came on like these small weird shaped discs, but you could put it in your computer and they would play. And they were like always super simple. I remember getting like a Sonic handheld game where you'd like shoot like a soccer ball in a net. I remember at Wendy's they were giving out it was like a dual-sided board game that it was basically like you just try and get around like the track as fast as possible. One side was Bowser, the other side was I want to say like Toad or something, or maybe Yoshi. And yeah, it was just I feel like you got such cool games.
One of my favorite like toys or gifts or whatever from I'm pretty sure it was McDonald's, was when they did the stuffed dogs.
Stuffed dogs? The
keychains. I'm pretty sure they were called dogs, but they were like these like plush little dogs, and they did all these different breeds, and you would get a different breed of dog like every time you went. And babe, I collected these dogs, and I knew I was going to be a dog person when I grew up, and this is why, because I wanted every single dog.
When I was a little kid, I want to say I was like maybe 5 or 6 years old. I was obsessed with dogs too, but my parents would never let us get a dog. Rightfully so. We wouldn't have taken care of it. It would have been their responsibility. But they got me, I want to say it was for Christmas or for my birthday one year, a robot dog.
I remember those dogs.
The coolest thing
with
ever.
The ears would flap. They were like blue and silver.
And it had a little bone too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister had one of those.
It's probably really annoying as a parent because it would like bark and like whine.
Oh,
and
I remember those.
I just thought it was the coolest thing ever.
All these childhood memories unlocked.
When I was a kid, I thought that's where technology was going. Like when I was this age, there was going to be like robot dogs that you could have. Nope, there isn't. I'm sure there is out there, but I thought that was the direction of like everything. I don't know. I thought technology was going to be so much different than it is today. Not saying that technology isn't where I thought it would be, because we've, the world of technology has done so many different cool things. I just, as a child's imagination goes, I thought technology was going to be much, much different.
Yeah. I mean, Xenon had me thinking a lot of different things too.
Yeah. I loved Xenon as a kid.
Me too. That was a good one.
Yeah. I was always fascinated with like sci-fi type stuff growing up.
I also like sci-fi, like
just futuristic
memory
stuff.
unlocked. Do you remember the like morphing things? Like they were like books or something about
Magic Treehouse?
No. They were like creatures that were like morphing into other creatures. Oh God, now I lost it.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't think of what it's called right now.
But the thing of technology, so I remember seeing Spy Kids for the first time. And they put these little packets in the microwave and they get McDonald's out of it. Oh my, I thought that's where technology was going. Apparently not.
Sign me up.
Like, that was cool.
That's definitely not happening.
I definitely thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah, no. Spy Kids was a good one, though.
Yeah. Yeah, just all the different little technology things that they had. I remember watching Inspector Gadget.
I loved Inspector Gadget.
Yep, that's where I got my technology ideas from, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, things just never got cooler than that.
No.
They were cool back then.
They were cool ideas.
Yeah, they were definitely cool ideas. Things that probably couldn't really be implemented, but man, did it make me happy as a kid.
I don't know. This is like a robot watch these days. So
I know. Yeah, having an Apple Watch and all the different little things that are just in our day-to-day that I guess we take for granted at this point. Like you can talk to your TV and ask it to change the channel, and you have a little Alexa, and you can have a camera on your doorbell now. And
yeah, you're right.
There's a bunch of different things that are cool and definitely would have been cool if I was a kid.
Yeah.
But as an adult, things just aren't as cool.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Because responsibilities kicked in and we don't get to do the things we enjoy.
Yeah. If only I could just go back in time and be a child again.
I know.
The world would be different. I'd be glued to like an iPad or something. So.
Yeah, most kids are though.
Yeah, and maybe they absolutely love that and they'll cherish that in the future. But I don't know. I cherish the childhood that I did have.
I agree.
Because it was pretty cool. And the world was, changing in front of my eyes and I got to experience it. So.
Yeah, we're a unique generation indeed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
From no phones to phones being on you 24/7.
Yeah, literally.
Screens and computers and iPads and just the technology that's changed.
Yeah.
Like I remember when my mom got a minivan and only one side had this, but it had an electronic door on the side. So like you could click a button and it would and the other side was manual, but one side had an electronic door. That was my side. I had the electronic door side. Nathan had to get in on the manual side.
You're so funny.
Yeah, and just, cars nowadays have like basically TV screens inside of there.
Yeah, I know.
But I remember, something that I thought was going to be a thing that isn't a thing is TV screens on like the headrest. I thought that was just going to be like base model type stuff in today's world when I was a kid.
Still might be.
It's not though. You don't buy a base model SUV. It doesn't have little screens in the back. Maybe because people are so used to having like their phones and stuff, you don't even need that now.
I guess. That would make sense.
But I remember going on like road trips where you'd be on the road for hours and I was like, I want to play my GameCube right now. And if you had those screens, you could hook into it.
Yeah, but if you have your phone, you can like do anything. If I would have had my phone for my road trips as kids, like it'd be so much different.
You'd just be sitting there scrolling on TikTok instead of
listening to some stupid shit my family was talking about.
No, I wouldn't even. I would come prepared.
He did have a Suburban that we had like a TV in the top that would come down, and like to think of it now, it looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But it was like the coolest thing. But I feel like it didn't work well. I don't remember what it was. But he had the TVs in the back of his seats, and we like never used them.
That's crazy to think. Yeah, maybe just people don't want them or don't need them nowadays because of where technology's at. Like your kid's going to be on their iPad. They don't need a TV screen in the back there.
Yeah, because you don't have Wi-Fi in the car, do you?
I think they do now. I think new cars probably have their own Wi-Fi now.
Well,
I don't know. Crazy to think about and reminisce on. Yeah. Well, I think it's a good place to end it. I think this is a productive episode. It got me out of my funk. So
Good, honey.
thanks for watching, guys. Hope you will tune back in next Thursday for a wonderful episode of the No Fire Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube or you can stream us on Spotify. Check out our TikTok and our Instagram. Please like and comment. Hopefully the next time I upload an episode, it uploads the entire thing. Because I'm just so frustrated with this stupid computer and rendering these videos and trying to upload things and it not working. So hopefully it works out this time. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes.